Chapter 25, Vault of the First Flame Location, Subterranean Chamber, Vault Core beneath Ashvale Abyss. Environmental buffs, plus 10% key recovery, fire element amplification, x 1.5, time dilation, 1 hour inside equals 5 minutes outside. Participants, Daiko, age 10, Karo, age 11, Zarek, age 14. The ground beneath the platform of flame trembled. After the trio completed the ancestral flame inheritance, the obsidian altar cracked open, revealing a spiraling staircase bathed in pulsing red light. A voice, not a system prompt, but something more ancient, echoed in their minds. Only those who have danced with the soul of flame may walk the vault. Within lies the heart of the first flame, and its trial. Guess we're not done yet, Daiko said, stepping toward the stairs. His aura flickered subtly, his energy hadn't fully stabilized from the integration. Good, Zarek muttered. That last fight just lit the fuse. Karo examined the air. It's getting denser. Like the keys folding inward on itself. With no hesitation, the three descended. The vault of the first flame. The stairway gave way to an enormous chamber of obsidian walls, lined with pulsating crimson veins of energy. At the center, a suspended orb of pure flame, caged within a dozen glowing rings. Beneath it, etched into the floor, were runes in an ancient Scion script. Looks like a containment lock, Karo muttered, narrowing his eyes. If I had to guess. It's holding back the full energy. Zarek stepped forward. Let's break it and find out. Daiko placed a hand on the nearest rune. No. This is a test. Suddenly, flame burst forth from the orb, slamming into the ground and manifesting a humanoid figure, broad-shouldered, armored in molten metal, with fire rippling off its body like a living blaze. Its face was obscured beneath a war helm bearing the mark of planet Sadala. Trial-initiated Flame Warden Kirin, Sentinel of the Scion Flame Core Power Level, 5000 Combat Style, Blazing Counter, Flame Chain Combos Reward, Flame Sigil Access, Core Compression Technique Combat Phase. Flame Warden Kirin didn't speak. He launched at them, closing the distance instantly. A blazing uppercut sent Zarek skidding back, steam rising from his armor. Daiko barely ducked a flaming kick, retaliating with Yin-Yang Dragon Wave. But Kirin caught the blast, crushed it in his hand, and redirected the energy back as a flame barrage pulse. Karo jumped overhead and fired a sequence of sniper key bolts, aiming for the runic joints. 2 hit. 1 didn't. Kirin countered by splitting into 3 flame avatars, each one mimicking his movements with a delay. His fire isn't just heat, Karo said. It's memory. He's imprinting false versions of himself from past motions. Zarek smirked. Then let's overwrite those memories. He activated Chaos Field Distortion and vanished in a blur, forcing the copies to phase through distorted space. The real Kirin reared back, hit by an unexpected Majin spiral crush that cracked his molten armor. Daiko moved in next, activating Flame Core Expansion, a new sub-technique allowed by the inheritance. His aura flared orange-red as he launched into a high-speed melee exchange, his fists now igniting upon impact. The tide shifted. Karo found an opening and launched his Pulse Vortex Cannon directly into Kirin's back, destabilizing his internal key balance. Daiko roared and finished the sequence with a point-blank Nova Spiral flare. The room exploded in fire. When the dust settled, only a scorched crater remained. Kirin's molten helm shattered at the center. System prompt, Flame Warden defeated. Sigil unlocked. Flame Compression Technique, condense external key into a concentrated core to reduce output strain and amplify explosive release attacks by 20%. Unlocking the vault. As the trio approached the suspended orb, the runic rings disengaged. The orb shrank, compressing until it fit in the palm of Daiko's hand. System acquisition. First Flame Core Fragment, attuned to Daiko, passively increases Fire-type technique damage by plus 15%. Incompatible with ice-based evolutions. It chose you, Karo said softly. I didn't expect it to, Daiko admitted. Zarek stepped beside them. We all felt the flame. Doesn't matter who holds the core, we all carry it now. The room began to shift. The floor pulled upward, lifting them back toward the surface. Skill and power updates. End of chapter. Daiko, age 10, power level 2480 2710 skill gains, Yin Yang Dragon Wave, plus 4% 91% Nova Spiral Flare, plus 5% 10% Flame Core Expansion, new 3% Flame Compression Technique, new 3% Caro, age 11, power level 2400 2630 skill gains, Pulse Vortex Cannon, plus 4% 9% Sniper Key Bolts, plus 3% 98% Flash Sight, plus 3% 37% Zarek, age 14, power level 2520 2750 skill gains, Majin Spiral Crush, plus 4% 14% Chaos Field Distortion, plus 3% 46% Chaos Pulse Matrix, plus 4% 9% Flame Sigil Shared Passive, plus 5% resistance to flame-based status effects, plus 3% key efficiency when using fire-style techniques. Chapter 26, Ember Vein Descent Location, Subterranean Layer, Ember Vein Cradle Environmental Effects, Key Signature Distortion, minus 10% Key Sensing, Heat Amplification, plus 20% Fire-based Technique Efficiency, Time Dilation, 1 hour equals 1 hour. Normalized, participants, Daiko, age 10, Caro, age 11, Zarek, age 14, the trio stood at the surface once again. Only now, the ground beneath them pulsed like a living organism. The first flame core fragment throbbed within Daiko's chest, tethered to his ki like a second heart. But the real test had only just begun. The flame, ancient and instinctive, whispered to them. Descend, deeper still. The ember vein remembers. It seeks a new flame bearer. Zarek stretched his limbs. If the flame keeps pulling us deeper, eventually we're gonna hit the planet's damn core. Then we'll burn brighter than it, Daiko said, calm but resolute. Caro knelt, scanning the glowing symbols now illuminating a stone disk in the center of the platform. This is a transition seal. It'll lower us into the ember vein cradle. Without another word, the trio stepped on the disk. Phase 1, entry into the ember vein. The descent was violent. The platform shook as it tore through layers of volcanic stone and subterranean magma tubes. The environment transitioned from molten red to shadowed obsidian, veins of glowing ember light threading through the walls. When the disc stopped, they stood inside what looked like the ribcage of a long-dead kaiju, a titanic flame beast fossilized in volcanic glass. Then came the voice. System alert, Guardian detected, lesser ember spirit power level, 3000, X3 entities, specialization. Phase warp flame movement. 3 ember spirits emerged from the walls, flickering between states of solid and fire. Each looked vaguely humanoid but lacked a face, just heat signatures and flaming claws. They're phasing through reality, Caro said. We'll need to lock them down. Or force them to burn out, Daiko replied. Let's go. Combat phase. Flame phase skirmish. Daiko immediately activated flame core expansion, focusing on increasing his body temperature to match the phasing threshold. He blurred forward, punching through one spirit before it could react fully. His hand passed through flame, forcing it to resolidify. Zarek anticipated the rematerialization and unleashed Majin Spiral Crush mid-phase, tearing one spirit in half with a burst of distorted flame energy. Caro's sniper key bolts bounced between spirits like ricocheting energy shrapnel, tagging their core flickers and interrupting their ability to fully phase. The battle became a dance of motion and reaction. The ember spirits adapted quickly, circling and unleashing burning arcs of vaporized ki. One latched onto Daiko's shoulder, trying to siphon his internal flame, but Daiko gritted his teeth and compressed his ki internally using the flame compression technique. The recoil burst the spirit apart from within. The final two merged in desperation, forming a towering, unstable spirit giant. Zarek! Caro called out. Already on it, the Majin hybrid smirked. He teleported inside the flame construct using chaos field distortion, and let loose a chaos pulse matrix in every direction, detonating the core with an implosion of unstable dimensions. The ember heart awaits. The chamber rumbled again. The skeletal remains around them folded in on themselves, revealing a pedestal of pure white obsidian. No flame, no glow, just stillness. Hovering above it was a second fragment of the first flame core, darker, heavier, and bound in seals. System prompt: you have located the ember heart. This core contains ancestral fire key, perfect for unlocking latent flame-based transformations. Integration will initiate flame blood mutation trials. This feels different from the last one, Daiko said. It's alive. Karo reached toward it, but the orb flashed. His hand froze. Only Daiko, the system stated. This heart has already chosen. Zarek gave a slow nod. Then let's see what kind of scion you really are. Daiko placed both palms around the orb and the ember heart sank into his body. Mutation trial, inner flame beast. Daiko's eyes snapped open. He was inside his own spirit realm, his aura coiling around him like a vortex. At the center was a massive flame beast, coiled like a dragon serpent, its eyes locked on him. Trial initiated. Conquer your flame. You must defeat the embodiment of your fire to gain control of its mutation trait. The beast lunged. Daiko launched forward with Nova Spiral Flare, colliding with its jaw. The two tumbled through his spirit field, fire and ki exploding in every direction. The creature bit down on his shoulder, trying to consume him from within. Daiko channeled flame compression technique to condense his energy into a single needlepoint burst and stabbed it into the dragon's heart. A pulse of golden fire radiated outward and the creature shattered into embers. System update, flame mutation complete, ember heart integration achieves new trait unlocked, ember ki circulation, amplifies fire-based technique efficiency by plus 25% and reduces internal ki temperature fatigue. End of chapter. Skill and power updates. Daiko, age, 10. Power level, 2710 3050 new trait, ember ki circulation, passive, unique, skill gains, Nova Spiral Flare, plus 5% 15% flame core expansion, plus 4% 7% flame compression technique, plus 5% 8% Karo, age, 11, power level, 2630 2850 skill gains, pulse vortex cannon, plus 4% 13% sniper key bolts, plus 2% 100%, maxed, flash sight, plus 4% 41% Zarek, age, 14, power level, 2750 2980 skill gains, Mage and Spiral Crush, plus 5% 19% Chaos Field Distortion, plus 3% 49% Chaos Pulse Matrix, plus 4% 13% Chapter 26.5, Scorch and Steel, the Ember Vein Training Arc Time Skip, 1 year current ages, Daiko, 11 Karo, 12 Zarek, 15 location, Ember Vein Cradle, Sealed Flame Sanctuary Time Chamber Effect, 1:10 ratio, 1 year inside equals 1.2 months outside, system note, skills progress based on exertion thresholds. Passive improvements accumulated over long-term physical, ki-based, and mental conditioning. A year beneath the flame. After Daiko's integration of the Ember Heart, the sanctuary revealed a hidden truth, a secondary chamber bathed in crimson crystal, where flame memory pools reflected ancestral battles of long-dead scions. Karo had been the first to notice the dimensional slip, a compression field tucked behind the pedestal. With Zarek's help, they managed to pry it open and discovered a temporal flame chamber, a sanctuary meant to mold warriors in compressed time. We can train here, Daiko had said, eyes glittering. Harder than ever. The team agreed. And so began the year of the Inferno Path. Daiko's evolution, reforging the core every day, began with meditative stillness inside magma-fueled springs, his body learning to withstand and manipulate heat-based energy on an instinctual level. He trained by launching ki blasts under crushing heat, forced to adapt when his energy destabilized. Over time, Daiko began to generate internal heat rotations. Revolutions of ki that spun within him like a turbine. He sparred with Zarek daily, enduring Majin compression holds and reverse ki fields, and learned how to redirect force instead of tank it head-on. By the 6th month, he created a new form of movement, Ember Step, an instantaneous flame phase dash leaving afterimages of heat. Karo's Cerealian precision, sniper of the core. Karo focused almost entirely on aim, distance, and predictive combat. He trained to fire ki blasts from outside of visual range, relying purely on energy detection. Every morning, he stood before floating obsidian fragments and attempted to strike them mid-rotation. He discovered a new manipulation method, ki compression arrows, which shaped his blasts into long, needle-like streaks that penetrated even hardened defenses. By the 10th month, his pulse vortex cannon had evolved into Spiral Pulse Breaker, a rotating ki drill with devastating force and recoil shielding. Zarek's dominion, the Spiral Chaos awakens. Zarek had always walked the line between discipline and madness, his Majin blood eager to rupture barriers. But in this sealed space, he learned self-fracturing, pushing his cells to split and regenerate during battle to mimic transformation bursts without full transformation. He refined chaos field distortion into a localized gravity trap, rendering fast opponents sluggish. By the end of the year, he unlocked Majin Flame Augment using the ambient ember field to code his techniques in burning chaos energy. Bond Beyond the Flame, the three forged not just power, but a bond forged in fire and forged through pain. They trained, bled, argued, and pushed past physical exhaustion into spiritual breakthroughs. One night, around the final campfire in the temporal chamber, Daiko said quietly, "We're not just training anymore. We're becoming legends." End of chapter. Skill and power updates. Daiko, age 11, power level 3054,600. New skill, Ember Step, intermediate, 0%. Skill progression, Flame Compression Technique, plus 5% 13% Flame Core Expansion, plus 4% 11% Nova Spiral Flare, plus 3% 18% Caro, age 12, power level 2,854,400. New skill, Key Compression Arrows, beginner, 0%. Spiral Pulse Breaker, beginner, 0%. Skill progression, Pulse Vortex Cannon, plus 4% 17% Flash Sight, plus 3% 44% Zarek, age 15, power level 2,984,300. New skill, Majin Flame Augment, beginner, 0%. Skill progression, Chaos Field Distortion, plus 3% 52% Majin Spiral Crush, plus 4% 23% System Notice, combat ability recalibrated. Fatigue resistance increased. Emotional bond modifiers now affect team combat synergy. Next realm registered, Solarum Memory Lattice. Chapter 27, Solarum Memory Lattice. Location, Solarum Vault, Memory Lattice. Core environmental modifier, Memory Drift, High Emotional Resonance, Enemy Class. Echo Constructs. Time effect, Non-linear flow, fragmented combat intervals. Participants, Daiko, age 11, Caro, age 12, Zarek, age 15. As they emerged from the Ember Vein Sanctuary, a shift in the sky greeted them. It was no longer a world of heat and magma. The realm around them had crystallized into something cold yet vast, like space, but warped. Stars pulsed unnaturally overhead, each one flickering like the neurons of a living brain. "This doesn't feel like the underworld anymore," Zarek said, narrowing his eyes. "We're somewhere, stored." Caro activated his flash sight, and even he blinked in shock. "This entire place is memories. Data. It's recording everything we've done." A massive construct hovered above an inverted spire of crystal lattice and dark steel. System message, "Welcome to the Solarum Memory Lattice. This archive stores echoes of warriors throughout time who were exposed to cosmic stress before death. Proceed to core room for trial. Warning. Emotion-based resonance will amplify combat difficulty." Memory Gate Trial, Echo of the Bloodline. The core room resembled an ancient coliseum, the floor composed of fractured glass. At the center stood a lone figure, scarred, proud, with a red headband flapping in the cold starlight. He turned slowly, eyes sharp and hard. "You," Daiko murmured, stepping forward. "That's Bardock." The figure's voice was deep and rumbling, but distant, echoing across time. "You bear the flame, child. But do you carry the weight of blood?" Echo detected. Bardock, Scion Warrior class, anomalous remnant, power level, preserved 25,000. Caro tensed. "He's an echo. A memory so strong, it gained form." "He's also Goku's father," Daiko said. "And mine too, sort of." Bardock raised a hand, palm crackling with battle-worn ki. "Only strength makes a Scion worthy. Come at me. Show me your legacy." Combat phase, Echo of Bardock. The battle began in a flash. Bardock moved like lightning, raw and refined. His strikes held thousands of hours of combat discipline. No wasted motion. Every blow intended to kill. Daiko rushed forward, matching Bardock's opening blow with Nova Spiral Flare, but the Echo absorbed the heat, his aura flaring blue as he counterpunched into Daiko's gut. Caro took position from afar, unleashing his key compression arrows. Bardock blurred, dodging with footwork so sharp it seemed to cut light. One arrow clipped him. And Bardock grinned. So one of you has a brain. He extended both hands and let loose a riot burst, a concussive wall of energy that exploded on contact. Zarek shielded both Daiko and Kara with a rotating chaos pulse matrix. This guy's instincts are terrifying, Zarek hissed. He's not just a ghost, he's a warrior who remembers. Daiko closed his eyes mid-battle. Then I'll fight him like one. He surged forward, using Ember Step to phase past Bardock's guard. Their fists collided. Flame versus Legacy. Your fire's strong, boy, Bardock whispered in the clash. But are you ready for the burden? Final blow, inheritance of the flame. Bardock punched high. Daiko ducked, twisted, and uppercut with everything he had. Technique, Flame Compression Overdrive combines compressed internal ki bursts with muscle ripple rebound force. The punch landed clean into Bardock's chest, and the Echo smiled as his body began to flicker. Good. You've earned it. As Bardock faded, he placed a hand on Daiko's shoulder. The blood remembers. Even if the galaxy forgets. System update trial complete. Echo of Bardock defeated Emotional Resonance, 99%, awarding Legacy skill. New skill learned, Scion Echo Reflex, intermediate, 0%. Taps into ancestral instinctive reflexes during high-speed combat, increasing reaction time and counterattack accuracy by 15%. Memory fragment acquired. Bardock's Final Vision end of chapter skill and power updates. Daiko, age 11, power level 4600 5400. New skill, Scion Echo Reflex, intermediate, 0%. Skill progression, Ember Step, plus 5% 10% Flame Compression Technique, plus 4% 17% Caro, age 12, power level 4400 4900. Skill progression, Ki Compression Arrows, plus 5% 8% Spiral Pulse Breaker, plus 4% 5% Zarek, age 15, power level 4300 4820. Skill progression, Chaos Pulse Matrix, plus 5% 18% Magen Flame Augment, plus 4% 4%.